It's win and in for the St. Martin Saints this evening from Marcus Pavilion. Hello again, everyone. Danny Bach alongside Larry Beck. An all-important game in the GNAC Alaska Fairbanks. They control their own destiny to the final spot in the GNAC playoffs. But it begins tonight against St. Martin's. They hope to wrap up the final GNAC spot with a win this evening against Alaska Fairbanks. All in set for what should be one heck of a night for basketball. And Larry, in a game like this one, you talk about playoff basketball, this game truly is a playoff game.
Absolutely. Both teams come in tied. The Saints have the tiebreaker, but if the Saints win tonight, we punch our ticket. We go to the playoffs. And I really, truly believe they play well tonight, play well on Saturday, build some momentum. The Saints are going to be a very difficult out in the playoffs, but it starts tonight with a win.
For St. Martin's, winning is something they haven't done as of late. Losers of 6 of their last 7 games. It seems to be a snowball effect, but for Alaska Fairbanks, the story a little bit different. They come into this evening's contest on a 3-game win streak as they have gotten hot as of late. And for Alaska Fairbanks, it all begins with their offense. Isaiah Sams-Hoy is going to be one of those key stars to pay attention to.
Well, and again, it's going to come down to can we defend him? We know that Fairbanks likes to run and gun. They like to score. And so a key to this game will be how well can we match up with them defensively. If we can slow them down and do what we can do best, I like our chances, but we're going against a team that is coming in on a roll right now.
Alaska Fairbanks has had several comeback victories over the course of their season, and one of those big games that took place was one that came against Alaska Anchorage during the regular season 3 weeks ago, a game that they trailed at one point by 15 at the half. So for this Alaska Fairbanks team, they played tough, close games, and when you talk about late-game heroics, Alaska Fairbanks has it in their arsenal.
Well, and this is what is going to make this game so exciting tonight. Both teams have a lot to play for. They both are two very capable teams, and while you may look at it record-wise and say that Fairbanks may not be able to match up very well, they're the team that's coming in hot right now, and the Saints have struggled as of late, but we also know that the Saints are a really bona fide, top-notch team, and they could do some real damage if they make it to the playoffs, which is why this game is just so critical for the Saints.
This is a St. Martin's team that started the regular season with a record of 16-2. And then after a week that worst scenario you could ever imagine, losing 2 games off of buzzer beaters and then winning against 2 top teams in the conference, 6 of the last 7 games, St. Martin's has come out on the losing end of the equation. But out of all that craziness, with those 2 wins against the top 2 teams in the GNAC, St. Martin's, they can win on any given night, and they also have proven as of late they can lose to anyone. But for St. Martin's, when they're at their best, it truly relies on some of their key stars, and one of them that has to step up has got to be Diego Trejo Delgado.
Yeah, and, because he hasn't had those great games that he's had like earlier in the season, this is going to be a critical game not only for the Saints, but for him as well, because if he could come in and get rolling like he was earlier in the season, that's going to help provide a lot of momentum for the Saints.
And when you talk about history, and sometimes history buffs love to look back and see trends that stand out, St. Martin's has won the last 11 meetings against Alaska Fairbanks. What does that mean for tonight?
Well, that could be either good or bad. History loves to repeat itself, and so we'd love to have that history repeat itself again tonight. But as they say, streaks are meant to be broken, and sooner or later, that streak's going to get broken. Let's just hope it's not tonight.
The hope is that St. Martin's can keep that streak alive. A look at the standings in the GNAC, and that features St. Martin's currently in at the 6th spot. Alaska Fairbanks in a tie for that 6th position, the final spot in the GNAC playoffs. So a win tonight for St. Martin's since the Saints won the earlier meeting that took place early on in the season against Alaska Fairbanks. A win tonight would clinch the head-to-head tiebreaker, which would give the Saints a playoff berth tonight. A loss, and things would get a whole lot more complicated with Alaska Fairbanks taking on Western Oregon, a team that's only won one game in the GNAC. And if you're the Saints, you do not want to rely on Western Oregon to hold your playoffs in your fate.
Our destiny is in our hands tonight. That's where we got to focus our energy and our attention. Win and we're in. That's all it is.
It's all straightforward for St. Martin's, with the gaze towards the playoffs around the corner, being hosted right here at Marcus Pavilion. The question will be, will the Saints be involved? And a huge indicator will be tonight. A win clinches a spot in the GNAC playoffs. A loss, and Alaska Fairbanks controls their own destiny. They're heading right back to Marcus Pavilion to play in the GNAC playoffs, what should be one heck of a basketball game. We're moments away from tip-off. Nothing like the anticipation before a big game, and this one tends to have that same big game feel. St. Martin's women clinched their spot into the GNAC playoffs earlier with a 64-55 win over Alaska Fairbanks, and they'll then look to do the same. Let's head down to the floor. Public address announcer Joe DeBruni for the start.
St. Martin's University, Marcus Pavilion inside the Twin Star Court for tonight's GNAC matchup featuring Banana of Alaska with a record of 12-13, and they are 8-8 in GNAC play. They're currently tied with 6 with our Overtown Saints, who come in with a 19-10 overall record and an 8-8 record. We did the anthem before the first game, so let's go ahead and meet the Banners. The 6'1" junior, number 1, is Chris Lee. Number 2, a 6-foot senior, Paul Johnson. A 6'7" senior, number 3, Nathan Sue. A 6'4" junior, number 10, Isaiah Shane Ford. And a 6'6" junior, number 11, Suzanne O'Keefe. Frank Wilson in his first season, 4th overall as your head coach, assisted by Coda Carlberg, Matt Milton, and Matt Martino. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get on your feet to meet your Saints. The 6'5" senior from West Palm Beach, Florida, number 5 is Miles Samuel. 5'6" senior from Salem, Oregon, number 11 is Jake Nielsen Skinner. The 6'2" senior from Beverly Hills, California, number 13 is Marcel Stevens. 6'7" freshman from Colorado, Mexico, number 14, Diego Trejo Delgado. And the 6'5" senior from Detroit, Michigan, number 55 is Jake Godfrey. With your mayor manager, number 16 is head coach. Associate head coach is Tyler Glasshead. Assisted by Brandon Clark, Wesley Reynolds, and Leonard Knight.
Playoff season has come early to Marcus Pavilion. A win for St. Martin's clinches a spot in the GNAC playoffs right here at Marcus Pavilion. A loss, and Alaska Fairbanks, who has played behind the 8-ball all season, will have the inside track for the final playoff spot in the GNAC. Glad you're with us here on the Saints Digital Network. We're underway from Marcus Pavilion. Jaden Nielsen Skinner earns a start, had limited playing time last week. Jay-Sean Moore dished for Miles Samuels. Looks to close in, lunged into one by Samuels, and Alaska Fairbanks is on the run. Chris Lee averages 14 points a game for this Nanox team. Jalea O'Keefe spots Isaiah Sams-Hoy from the left arm joint. Out to Chris Lee. Watched by Jay Sean Moore. Here is Isaiah Sams-Hoy, right side for Jalea O'Keefe. Hard pass, Chris Lee for three. Off the heel, it pinballs out. Here is Marcel Stevens. Kicked it, Diego Trejo Delgado explodes down the lane. Missed on the first, scores on the second.
Nice tip.
Persistence pays off for Diego Trejo Delgado. Saints with the first punch. In comes Ethan Sidhu, a shot missed on the try that came from Jalea O'Keefe. Nielsen Skinner. He'll settle, explode, lunges, and scores! Count on the foul for Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Or is it?
No, I don't think that went in.
It did not go in. I apologize. My eyes are deceiving me.
Well, our vantage point sometimes can be a little tricky.
So here is Jaden Nielsen Skinner at the line. It's all up from here, you would think. Skinny puts in the free throw. The big E on the eye chart. I gotta look for that. All kidding aside, here's Nielsen Skinner going 2 for 2, and St. Martin's with a 4-0 lead. First meeting between these two teams saw exquisite scoring from Isaiah Sams-Hoy. 24 points and 9 boards for the Nanooks. Here they are again on offense. Kathan Sidhu hits the three. Kathan Sidhu puts the Nanooks on the scoreboard. It's 4-3. Nielsen Skinner finds Jay Sean Moore. Dropped it. Skinny closing. A floater wide to the right. So here comes Jalea O'Keefe, formerly in the GNAC with Central Washington. Chris Lee gives a gander towards the right side for Kathan Sidhu. Lunging into one. Samuels comes away with the theft for St. Martin's. Samuels spots Trejo Delgado. Skinny. Stevens, long three. Sinks in.
Sneaks it in.
The shot deadened on the tin. Suckered out of play by Stevens. But a huge made three to start the game from Marcel Stevens. Double digits in 15 of the last 16 games. Important for Stevens to get hot early for St. Martin's. Here is Jalea O'Keefe. Right pocket, playing catch with Sidhu. Sams-Hoy. Chris Lee surveys. Back out to Isaiah Sams-Hoy again. Deep shot three, sunk. Paul Johnson. Alaska Fairbanks playing in range with the three ball. Stevens looking to counter and does. Marcel Stevens, his second made three of the game in the early going. St. Martin's with a 10-6 lead.
We have 16 points scored in 3 minutes. I think we're going to be a high-scoring affair here.
Sams-Hoy ranged it out. Kathan Sidhu. Isaiah Sams-Hoy deflected by Trejo Delgado. 4-on-3 rush for SMU. Stevens scores!
To the rack.
Timeout called by Alaska Fairbanks with the Saints leading 12-6. Saints fans, get ready for homecoming weekend starting tomorrow, February 28th through March the 2nd, which will include the Distinguished Alumni Awards on a Friday, coffee with the Monks Saturday morning, and a Saints doubleheader against Alaska Anchorage later that day, and Mass on Sunday. We are especially excited to induct the 2024 Bob Grisham Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor class on Saturday, March 1st at noon in the Worthington Conference Center. Head to stmartin.edu/homecoming to register for events and to learn more. Jenny Buck alongside Larry Beck, and Larry, well, we're seeing a lot of the three ball early on in this game.
Well, and I think we're probably going to see a lot more of it. That seems to be the shot of choice. It'll be interesting to see which team starts to see that shot percentage drop a little bit and see if they start executing an offense that isn't as reliant on the three-pointer.
Instead, they work inside.
Right
Paul Johnson. And the state champion high school with O'Day product able to score. It's a 4-point game. Here is Marcel Stevens. He'll explode in on O'Keefe. Foul called. What an impact Marcel Stevens is making out of the gate for St. Martin's already with 8 points in scoring. Not even 4 minutes into the game, on the verge, hitting double figures. For Stevens on the year, scored a career high 26 against Point Loma this year. 4 times he's eclipsed over 20 points. Stevens misses the first free throw. Griffin Effenberger checks into the game for the Nanooks. So here is Marcel Stevens, 70% free throw shooter on the year. Converts on the back end, and the Saints lead by 5. Here comes Alaska Fairbanks. Effenberger left it for Paul Johnson. Up high for Isaiah Santoy. Nathan Sidhu out to Effenberger. Court-wide pass. Paul Johnson out to Chris Lee. Here's Johnson to Effenberger. Sidhu out of play. Possession remains with Alaska Fairbanks. A timeout called with 15:50 left in the first half. At Twin Star Credit Union, it's more than just about providing a top-notch banking experience for our members. We have a long and proud history of investing in the communities we serve. Last year, we donated more than $1 million to help support local organizations, schools, and causes. We believe that everyone benefits from strong and vibrant communities. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. Alongside Larry Beck, I'm Danny Bach. And Larry, when you talk about important playoff games, regular season game here, but your impressions through the first 4 minutes of the tension in this game.
Well, both teams have come out red hot. They're moving back and forth down the court with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of effort. And I think both teams recognize what this game means to both of them. You know, the winner gets, if the Saints win, we're playoff bound. If the Nanooks win, they control their destiny. And so this is a must-have game for both teams. And they're playing like it so far.
And one of those key contributors for Alaska Fairbanks, and it's a question of who's going to beat you with so many different guys that can score. Paul Johnson, early stages, already with making some impact plays for the Nanooks.
Yes. Like I said, both teams are playing really well right now, and the offense seems to be in fourth gear for both teams.
They look to remain in that. Effenberger launched it. Deep shot. Paul Johnson again. He heard just.
Yep.
Skinny. Marcel Stevens looking to insert. Short on the layup attempt, but he does generate. Look at the free throw line. Both teams shooting effectively. So here's Marcel Stevens again. For Stevens, transfer from Cal State University Northridge. Paid homage at Beverly Hills, California. Stevens misses on the free throw. And when you look at the response for Stevens this season, 11 points. The effort against Montana State Billings both occasions this year. Stevens converts again, just like the first time on the back end. Here is Chris Lee. Griffin Effenberger up high. Watched by Samuels, who gives to Paul Johnson. Isaiah Santoy slowed by Chris Lee for Alaska Fairbanks. Griffin Effenberger dashes down the lane. Effenberger short. Samuels able to influence the turnover. Diego Trejo Delgado skipped it for Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Trejo Delgado in the post. Defended on the play, Berkeley by Zeffenbergen. And turnover. Possession heads to the Nanooks. Again, winners of 3 straight after having lost 6 in a row. Alaska Fairbanks, question be for them, can they get hot at the right time? And they did that 3 years ago when everyone made the playoffs and Alaska Fairbanks was ranked dead last in the conference at 5-11. On inside, here's Paul Johnson. More on that in a moment. A steal, Marcel Stevens, 2-on-1, Stevens to the tin, Jay-Sean Moore scores.
Great follow-up by Moore.
Haltage in play, as we do have an injury.
Looks like Chris Lee.
Lee slow to get up, and the training staff will attend to Lee. For Lee, he is on his feet and walking on his own power. For Lee, in high school at Ketchikan, finished his high school career the all-time leading scorer for a Ketchikan team, but also won the 4A state title, 3-time All-Alaska player. Back in play. Here comes Jeremiah Hersrud along and is scoring the bucket, Sams Hoy. 3-point game here in Lacey. Trejo Delgado sinks the triple. 6-point lead for St. Martin's, and here on the move, Isaiah Sams Hoy. Effenberger down the lane, dropped it in front. No basket. And with the haltage in play, and the Nanooks will inbound from the end line.
Yeah, they called the foul before the shot.
Trejo Delgado with his first. Surveyed upon by Hersrud, funneled in front before it's charged loose from Zeffenbergen. Nielsen Skinner on the move, slows it, and he lost the ball. Sams Hoy, foul called on Skinny. First, it's St. Martin's looking to set up the attack, and then the steal from Isaiah Sams Hoy.
That may have been a fortunate foul, though, for the Saints. Fairbanks had some momentum on that play, and getting that foul kind of slowed that to a halt.
Hersrud, long three, missed on the try from Effenberger. So here comes Jay-Sean Moore. He'll dash and spin on Hersrud. Short initially from Moore. And a battle out of play. Possession heads to Alaska Fairbanks.
Yeah, the official debated on that one. He wasn't sure which direction to point.
Jacob Harper checks into the game for St. Martin's. And he had 22 points as a career high on 2 separate occasions during his time at San Jose City College. We're back into play. Here comes Alaska Fairbanks. 4th ranked offense in the GNAC. Drop for Jeremiah Hersrud. Watched by Jay-Sean Moore. Hersrud gives a gander, gives it. Effenberger hits the 3. Griffin Effenberger with another deep shot 3. Stars coming to play. Stevens can't answer. Here comes Isaiah Sams Hoy on the move for Alaska Fairbanks. On inside, Zeffenbergen scores. And associate head coach Tyler Velasquez has seen enough. He calls timeout in a 1-point game. With the break In play, O'Blarney's is the proud post-game hub for all things Saints athletics. With delicious food, a wide plethora of drinks, weekly events, and a convenient central location, there's no better place to unwind with friends and family after a Saints doubleheader. Stop by their Olympia location at 4411 Martin Way East. Danny Buck alongside Larry Beck, and Larry, Alaska Fairbanks playing toe-to-toe with St. Martin's.
That they are. The timeout that Coach Landon took, he started out in a zone, and Alaska Fairbanks was connected on the first 2 or 3 three-pointers. Then he went to a man-and-man, and we have figured out how to slow him down with either defense. So I'm sure he is working really hard at trying to come up with some mechanism to slow the Nanooks down just a little.
Here is Omer Ege-Pixari. Dyson Lighthall into the game for St. Martin's. Trejo Delgado on the post. On Kathan Sidhu. Oladele skipped it. Harper had intentions to shoot. Ege-Pixari, no basket, and a foul called against Alaska Fairbanks. Charged against Isaiah Sams-Hoy. Only his first foul. So you have Jacob Harper on the floor for St. Martin's. He has the propensity to shoot the three and shoot it well. Instead, Oladele scores.
Just like you draw it up.
Oladele left, parked in front of the basket. The putback is St. Martin's a three-point lead. Here's Paul Johnson out to Jeremiah Hersrud. Kathan Sidhu in on the move. Elion Seffenbergen with a shot that was missed. Here comes Emmanuel Oladele. Had a quiet week last time out. Oladele and a travel call. So Alaska Fairbanks calls timeout after the sequence for head coach Franco Stanek. 4th season leading Alaska Fairbanks after a previous stint that took place in the mid-2000s. And for head coach Franco Stanek, Alaska Fairbanks team that has shown great resolve over the years. This season with winning 3 straight and many in come-from-behind fashion. But what's being discussed in this huddle during this break?
Well, so far, neither team has taken control of this game. It's like a boxing match, like championship fight. First couple rounds, it's just to feel each other out. Take a shot, give a shot, take a shot, give a shot. And we haven't seen anybody take control of the game yet. And that's because, first and foremost, no one has slowed the other team down defensively. So right now, there hasn't been any team that's grabbed the momentum. And I'm sure the coaches are working really hard and trying to come up with a game plan to slow the other down. And the first team that does that is going to grab the advantage in this game. But so far, we haven't gotten there yet.
Got a long way to go. 11:34 left in the first half. Glad you're with us here on the Saints Digital Network. Again, win and in for St. Martin's. A loss, and Alaska Fairbanks controls their own destiny to a GNAC spot. Last time Nanooks were in the playoffs, they won the GNAC title. One of the more miraculous seasons in GNAC history. Off the window and in from Griffin Effenberger. 1-point game in this high-stakes affair. Here's Dyson Lighthall, renders. Omer Ege-Pixari, Trejo Delgado for 3, popped out. And a foul on Ege-Pixari, not a good one that you want to take.
Yeah, that was an easy one to call.
So the foul on Ege-Pixari. 3rd team foul for St. Martin's in the first half. And away goes Chris Lee for the Nanooks. Effenberger left it. Here is Paul Johnson. Lee. Elion Zeffenbergen on inside. Zeffenbergen scores the bucket. Elion Zeffenbergen on the tally, and Alaska Fairbanks for the first time tonight is in the lead. Ege Pexari, Oladele up high. Harper emerges, Dyson Lighthall. Scans, dropped it, Oladele for three, no. In the air, Lighthall is able to corral Trejo Delgado. And a foul called on Trejo Delgado. Diego Trejo Delgado looked to create his own space. Instead, he picks up his second foul.
Yeah, that one hurts. Getting 2 fouls this early in the game is going to limit his playing time.
Trejo Delgado, that has had many of instances during the course of the season where he has played amidst foul trouble, and typically he has come through. And unfortunately hasn't been the case last few weeks. That all can change here. Foul called. And just as promptly, Emmanuel Oladele picks up the foul. St. Martin's with their fifth, not even halfway through the first half. Backed up upon by Sams Hoy, who hits the jumper. And Alaska Fairbanks leads by 3. Quickly, Oladele saves it. Samuels briskly in play. Here is Omer Ege Pixari. Watched by Isaiah Sams Hoy. Ege Pixari gives a gander out to Jacob Harper. Oladele deflected by Chris Lee, who nearly came away with a steal. Zeffenbergen nearly harnessed possession. In the end, Nanux will have the basketball. A comedy of turnovers on the sequence. Oladele, Harper, and Ege Pixari check out of the game.
Well, the Saints need to kind of figure out how to stop this run. They've given up, it's an 11-2 run right now, and Fairbanks looks like the better team offensively at the moment.
Paul Johnson, Chris Lee outside, Jalea O'Keefe.
I really like the fact that the coach is switching up his defense. He went back to the zone on this.
Missed by Sams Hoy. Out comes Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Stevens corrals from the left pocket. On the outskirts, Samuels to Jaden Nielsen Skinner. With 8:52 left in the half. Lighthall for 3. Deaden on the rim again. And here comes Alaska Fairbanks on the move. O'Keefe to Chris Lee. Back to O'Keefe again. From the right pocket, Zeffenbergen launched it for Paul Johnson. Through the middle, influenced by Marcel Stevens. Zeffenbergen kept it alive. Sams Hoy down the lane. Lost his dribble. Possession does stay with Alaska Fairbanks. Griffin Effenberger checks into the game. Played high school ball in the state at Lewis and Clark High School. Launched by Lee for Paul Johnson. Here's Isaiah Sams Hoy. Long 3, missed by Effenberger. Here's Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Lighthall. Skinny off the Lighthall screen. Stevens for 3, no. Oh, here comes Alaska Fairbanks. This out of play from Sams Hoy. And Franco Stanek calls timeout. 7:56 left in the first half. Special thank you to our proud sponsor, Forelli's Pizza. They have locally owned and operated around the area for almost 30 years, and they are the preferred pizza partner of Saints Athletics. Their top-of-line ingredients and quality service make for a one-of-a-kind experience that you can't beat. Try a slice for yourself at the concession stand in Marcus Pavilion or head to their Hawkesbury location. Now that we've paid our bills, Danny Buck alongside Larry Beck. And Larry, we talk about being dead on offense, and so far, St. Martin's on a little bit of a cold streak.
Yeah, they've gone 4 minutes without scoring, and they're going to have to get that turned around here pretty quickly, or the Nooks are going to run away from this. They've struggled a little bit. Stevens got off to the fast start, and he's cooled off a little bit, and no one has stepped in to fill those shoes. So it's been a tough few minutes for the Saints. Fortunately, there's still almost 28 minutes left in this game, so a lot of things can happen, certainly in the men's game.
For Paul Johnson, he has hit 2 threes for Alaska Fairbanks. And we've seen the tandem of the scoring load also carried by Griffin Effenberger and Elion Zeffenbergen. Here's St. Martin's on offense. Here is Dyson Lighthall. Gives a browse. Here's Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Lighthall closing on Jalea O'Keefe. Lighthall extends and scores.
That's how you use your size.
So here is Chris Lee. And with St. Martin's again in that zone, from the right side, here's Paul Johnson out to Griffin Effenberger. Lee surveys. Oh, look at the passing. Here's Paul Johnson. Back out to Griffin Effenberger. Sams Hoy jacks up a 3 off the heel.
Ruled off the backboard standard, so it's going to be out of bounds. Saints basketball.
So St. Martin's, they're able to score on the offensive end, but can they score again? Miles Samuels, red hot as of late. Samuels yet to score. Dyson Lighthall, second attempt, also doesn't go. You got to finish those chances if you're St. Martin's. Effenberger launched it. Paul Johnson. Right back up high. Griffin Effenberger. Oh, what a pass. Jalea O'Keefe scores! Counting the foul for Jalea O'Keefe.
That was just an athletic move there.
Jalea O'Keefe, who has found the scoring touch as of late.
That was a reverse layup that ended up being almost a shot because it was like 5 feet away from the hoop. That's not easy to do.
Tough skill from Jalea O'Keefe. And he puts through the free throw. Transfer from Central Washington. A lot of connections between Central Washington and Alaska Fairbanks. Former head coach Greg Sparling, longtime head coach for Central Washington for over 20 years before coaching the Nanooks to the GNAC title in 2022. Miles Samuels closes and scores.
Wow. I'm surprised there wasn't a call there.
So here comes Alaska Fairbanks. As play continues, the 3 is missed. Isaiah Sams Hoy missed the shot. And Samuels is down on the play. 6:09 left. With Alaska Fairbanks up by 2, but the concern is fixated. Miles Samuels, the leading scorer for St. Martin's. 6:09 left. So associate head coach Tyler Velasquez, in a season that has had a little bit of everything. Be up to Velasquez, see what he draws up. Samuels is to his feet.
Well, he landed really hard. I'm surprised that he's doing as well as he is, because that was a very hard hit to the floor.
Samuels is able, as you can see, to walk off on his own power.
Yeah, it looks like his right shoulder may be bothering him.
Will be tended to by the medical training staff.
Yeah, and he's going into the locker room, it looks like. Well, no, maybe not, but he's getting attended to. Let's put it that way.
Here comes Jaden Nielsen Skinner with Omer Ege Pixari on the floor for the Saints. Here is Jay-Sean Moore. Hard pass. Ege Pixari missed on the triple. Jay-Sean Moore with the offensive board. Skinny for three. No. Lighthall scraps for the loose ball. Lost out of play. Possession stays with the Saints. Sometimes a scramble play like that can keep offensive momentum. Here's Dyson Lighthall. 2-point deficit. Stevens left it. Jay-Sean Moore. Ege Pixari straight to the tin. Missed on the layup. So here comes Paul Johnson.
That play was so well executed, and then to miss the layup. Very painful to watch.
Here's Chris Lee. Pleasant sight for the folks out in Fairbanks. Deep shot, Zeffenbergen missed it all. Ege Pixari. Look at him glide. Marcel Stevens. Lighthall battling in the post with Zeffenbergen. Jaden Nielsen Skinner off the Lighthall screen. Lobbed, Lighthall in stride, and the game is tied.
Nice work by Lighthall there. Nice catch and nice turn to the basket.
Need to see a lot more of that. Here's St. Martin's. Lighthall's been quiet recently. Zeffenberger, oh, what a spin move, he scores.
Well, the one thing that the Saints are doing better on defense is because they're switching back and forth between man and zone, it's keeping Fairbanks a little off guard as opposed to a few minutes ago where everything seemed to be going their way.
And St. Martin's has done that, changing the defensive looks, and that can frustrate an offense.
Absolutely. Well, you have to change offense. And sometimes players don't recognize that the defense has changed.
Both teams jostling for the final playoff spot. Saints can clinch it with a win tonight. Fairbanks with 2 wins. Lost and discovered by Marcel Stevens. After an early 10 points, he has gone rather silent. Lighthall for 3. Missed off the front end. Stevens is there. He scores. Desperately needed.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the Nanooks defense there. There was two white shirts right underneath the bucket.
Stevens up to 12. From the outside, here's Chris Lee. Surrounded through the double team. Long 3, Paul Johnson hits it.
That guy's a pure shooter.
Johnson, a state champion with O'Day, dominant Metro League team. Here's Dyson Lighthall in the post. On Sadu, he scores. Dyson Lighthall. How about high school state champion from Arizona? Lee left it. Griffin Effenberger. Roused on by Paul Johnson, where Lee is able to retrieve. With St. Martin's in the man-to-man. Hard pass from Kathan Sadu sets up Chris Lee for the 3. 4-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Omer Ege Pixari glides in, gave it away. Here comes Griffin Effenberger. Launched it. Jalea O'Keefe for 3. He puts it in. 38-31 lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Here is Nielsen Skinner, settled for Ege Pixari. Jay-Sean Moore on Jalea O'Keefe. Jay-Sean Moore missed it. And a foot out of bounds. Saints with possession. You talk about a critical possession coming up. A timeout called with 2:14 left. Panowitz Jewelers in Olympia is the best place to find unique designer pieces and timeless classics while also getting the service you deserve. With an all-star repair shop and custom design services, they are one of the best jewelers in the South Sound for all of your jewelry needs. Learn more by heading to Panowitz.com.
Well, one of the big advantages that Fairbanks has right now is they're shooting almost 50% from the three-point line, and the Saints are only 3 of 11 right now. And so, that's the difference of the game. They've got 7 3-pointers in the hole, and we've got 3, and we're down by 7. So we could stand a little bit better shooting from the three-point line, and also we probably need to continue to feed Lighthall. He has a 70-pound weight advantage on his defender, Sidhu. So we need to take advantage of that size difference.
And you mentioned the three-point shooting. St. Martin started 2 of 5 and then going 1 of 9. Something's got to change for a St. Martin's team that's ranked 6th in the conference in three-point shooting. And Dyson Lighthall might have to be the man who steps up.
Yep, absolutely. And he's got an advantage if we can get the ball to him. Problem is that we haven't always gotten the ball to him at a great spot for him to make a move on the bucket.
And back into the game, Miles Samuels. Good to see the return for Samuels to the floor. Samuels launched for Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Nanuks in the man-to-man. Here's Samuels for 3. Missed it all. So here comes Alaska Fairbanks. Chris Lee surveys out to Griffin Effenberger. Sam's Hoy right to Kathan Sidhu. Chris Lee with 1:40 left in the first half. Effenbergen directly to Isaiah Sam's Hoy, who shoots the 3 and buries the triple. A 10-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Here is Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Jay-Sean Moore browses. Skinny closed it. Ege Pixari stepped out of bounds. From bad to worse for St. Martin's. And if you're Alaska Fairbanks, this is your chance to punch back.
Yes.
St. Martin's on a little bit of a cold streak. Try and put on a few punches in this game of momentum. Here's Paul Johnson. Griffin Effenberger with his right-handed dribble. Against the zone defense, Effenberger had it pop out. 43 seconds left in the half. Here's Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Saints have got to find some momentum. Samuels from the free throw line, wide to the right. For Miles Samuels, after his brief hiatus, 2 misses in his last pair of field goals. Saints do have the basketball. 33.8 left. Jay-Sean Moore. Oladele to Marcel Stevens. From the free throw line, had one that descended and missed everything. Here's Chris Lee with the shot clock turned off for Alaska Fairbanks. Leaving one for Griffin Effenberger. 10 seconds left in the half. Effenberger launched it in tight, kicked out. Johnson missed the 3. Johnson off his own miss, and time expires in the first half. And Alaska Fairbanks playing for their postseason lives with a purpose. They lead by 10 at the half, 41-31, finishing half number 1 on a 9-0 scoring run. What a showcase from the Nanuks.
Well, again, getting back to three-point shooting, that's the big difference in this game. They're shooting 53% from three-point line, and we're at 25%. And there's the difference in the ball game right there. And we probably need to get more in and out. We've made a lot of shots from three-point, particularly in the latter part of the second half or first half, and we didn't connect on any of them. So we got to get some more rhythm on offense right now.
Marcel Stevens was hot early for SMU, but ever since then, the scoring has been all over the board for the Saints, but no one has stood out in particular.
Right. It's been a little here, a little there, but right now the Nanooks are playing a much crisper form of offense, and they're frustrating us just enough with their defense for us to be down by 10.5.
Dyson Lehall with 6 points, Diego Trejo Delgado with 5, and you have 4 Saints with 2 points in the half. That includes Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, in tandem with Miles Samuels, Deshaun Moore, and Emmanuel Oladele. And one of the levels of concern for St. Martin's has got to be Miles Samuels. If he's cooled, the offense for the Saints could be in for a rough time in the second half.
Absolutely, and right now the Saints really need to find a couple players that start to heat up a little bit and put some real pressure on the Nanooks defensively. Right now that's not happening, and a couple of our last 3-point shots were a little on the wild side. We need to work in and out offensively, and because we do have a size advantage down below if we take advantage of it.
That will be the question as far as the battle in the paint is concerned. Rather even, Saints winning battle in the key of 18-14. And a lot of the numbers seem to be rather even with one exception. And St. Martin's a team that is tops in the conference in rebound margin. They lead in offensive rebounds 10-2, but with the score being the way it is, it's because Alaska Fairbanks, they're hitting their shots. They don't need offensive boards.
Well, yeah, it's hard to get offensive boards if you don't miss, and so and that's really been the difference in the game is that Alaska Fairbanks is just shooting the ball better right now. We've got to be able to spread some shooting skill among more players right now, and unfortunately, we're struggling to get some consistency on offense.
As the consistency has reached a point where a lot of questions. As we take a look at some of the scores across the GNAC in some big games, one that carries the utmost of significance, Central Washington against Western Washington in the I-90 rivalry. And Western Washington has been red hot, and we saw that several weeks ago against the same Saints. And a look at the story in the I-90 rivalry part 2. Trevor White has 19 points early on in the second half. Tijon Sane with 15 for Western Washington. Kevin Holden, 14 points, leading the way for Central. Western Washington leads Central Washington 60-46. You talk about rivalries in the state. A very good one, the I-90 rivalry between Western and Central, tends to bring out the best in both teams.
Well, anytime you have state rivalries, those are the kind of rivalries that split families, And Uncle Joe and Aunt Mary are on one are the Western fans, and Zeke and Jill are Wildcat fans. So hopefully it doesn't make for holidays to be too terribly difficult, but it does split families, hopefully in a friendly manner. But no doubt, it looks like Western is keeping their momentum going right now, and they hold a 15-point lead with a little over 13 minutes left, and Central's going to have to get on a roll to get back in their game.
For Western, if they were to win, they would be in a tie with Seattle Pacific for the third place spot in the GNAC playoffs, with the tiebreaker edge held by Seattle Pacific. So if Western were to win, that will make the playoff picture in the GNAC a whole lot more complicated. Another game that's happening in the GNAC that carries playoff importance, Northwest Nazarene against Simon Fraser. And if NNU were to win, they would clinch a first-round bye. And over in Burnaby, it is a good one between Simon Fraser and NNU. 11 minutes left in the second half, and the game is tied. Irish Kokia has 17 points. Luke Howard with 14 for Simon Fraser. For Northwest Nazarene, Kai Dixon, no surprise, already with 20 points. But a lot of playoff scenarios in play. We'll look to detail all of that for you throughout the course of these next two games for St. Martin's. But with a couple minutes before we start the second half, we'll take a break. Be back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back for the start of the second half between Alaska Fairbanks and St. Martin's. Danny DeBach alongside Larry Beck. And for St. Martin's, you got 20 minutes to save your season. An inspired Alaska Fairbanks team that at one point in conference play was 5-8, seemingly done and dusted from GNAC playoff play. They stand 20 minutes from a major step. Here comes Chris Lee for Alaska Fairbanks. Watched by Marcel Stevens. The pressure of the season hanging in the balance. Paul Johnson missed on the putback attempt. And here comes Miles Samuels. Moore gives to Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Moore surveys. Stevens to Nielsen-Skinner. Samuels. Right free throw line extended. Trejo Delgado right back out to Samuels. On in, he scores.
That's a great way to start.
Important response, and it was Miles Samuels that scored. Remember, he took the hard fall in the first half. How will the Saints respond on defense? O'Keefe sets up Chris Lee for three. He's got another one. Alaska Fairbanks shooting with precision. Here's Miles Samuels. Left it for Diego. Trejo Delgado on O'Keefe. Skinny dropped it. Jay-Sean Moore to Skinny for three. Popped out. Trejo Delgado with the offensive glass. He scores.
Great rebound. That was who wanted it more, and he was the one who wanted it more.
Trejo Delgado, a great human interest story. Did not speak English at all before he played his senior year of high school ball in California. Deep shot, Chris Lee again, this time not the same outcome. Marcel Stevens pot in the right pocket. Deep shot, Trejo Delgado popped out. So here comes Alaska Fairbanks. Isaiah Sams-Hoy stripped away. Marcel Stevens blocked on the play and a goaltend. Great play from Isaiah Sams-Hoy up until the goaltend. So here's Chris Lee again in a 7-point game. St. Martin's in a zone. Here is Chris Lee. Defended by Stevens. Sams-Hoy flown it out for Chris Lee. From the left corner, sword for Sadu, who has his shot off the shot clock. Possession to St. Martin's.
So Coach Velasquez was yelling at his players on the last possession to move. And one of the things that we're kind of standing around a little bit.
And Trejo Delgado isn't able to score. Not being able to move on offense, quickly back to defense. Johnson on inside, O'Keefe for three, he sinks it. And the lead's back up to double digits again. Nielsen-Skinner. Harassed. The outside by Sadu. Samuels to Skinny. Trejo Delgado down the lane. Trejo Delgado is fouled. He'll head to the free throw line. 58% free throw shooter is Trejo Delgado. In a 10-point deficit, St. Martin's hopes to save their season. They've got to find a way to trim this lead. So here's Trejo Delgado at the line. At a 20-point effort against Western Oregon, he misses the first free throw. Griffin Effenberger checks in along with Elion Zeffenbergen for the Nanooks. Here's Trejo Delgado at the line. Trejo Delgado puts in the second, and it's a 9-point game here in Lacey.
Well, Trejo Delgado's now got 7 points. He probably needs to at least double that, if not get a few more. Seems like the offense is going through him a little bit more the second half.
Sams Hoy will head to the free throw line. Foul called on Jayshawn Moore. And the first foul for the Saints in the second half. Here is Isaiah Sams Hoy at the free throw line, 75% free throw shooter. Hits on that attempt, up to 8. Double figures in all but 2 games this season. Isaiah Sams Hoy had 24 points scored in the first meeting against SMU. Game the Saints won 71-63. Trejo Delgado dropped it. Miles Samuels from the mid-block ranged it out for Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Samuels shoots the 3. Offline, Trejo Delgado can't come away with the rebound. And out comes Alaska Fairbanks. Effenberger launched it. Johnson elevates a mid-ranger off the heel. Saints look to ignite on offense. Skinny dropped it. Stevens for 3. Off the heel and out. Trejo Delgado, another offensive rebound. Seen that several times today, and a foul called on Effenberger. And a timeout called with 15:26 remaining in the game, and you talk about coming out of the gate, playing with a purpose, and so far, Larry Beck for St. Martin's looking for that spark still.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same that we saw in the first half. You know, a good play here, but no momentum built from it. We don't seem to have a whole lot of offensive rhythm, not a whole lot of movement, a lot of dribbling, a whole lot less passing. And, I would invite people to pay attention to what Fairbanks is doing. They're passing the ball with a little bit greater propensity, and they're finding easier shots to take.
And one key stat is the assists.
Yeah. They got twice as many assists than we do right now.
8.
When the offense becomes sluggish, it's those kind of things. Movement starts to slow down, passing becomes less and less. It's really easy to dribble basketball, much harder to pass the ball effectively and efficiently, but if you do it well, you're going to get easy shots. Right now, Fairbanks is getting more of the easiest shots.
And this is a St. Martin's team that's ranked second in the conference in assists, so have to go back to what's been working, and so far what's been happening up to this point, well, has been dry. Saints look to change that with Diego Trejo Delgado. It's the backing up Effenberger. Stevens for 3. Missed off the front end. He'll pursue his board, and he ran out of real estate. Nanook basketball.
Well, we're now 3 of 16 from three-point land, which is a percentage of 16%. So that's a big piece of the story of this game so far.
Isaiah Sams Hoy, O'Keefe in stride. He'll head to the free throw line. Isaiah Sams Hoy with the drive. And you talk about the difference of how one game can make. The first time Alaska Fairbanks took on St. Martin's, they went 0 of 12 from the three-point line in the first half. This, a completely different story.
Yeah, absolutely.
10 of 19 from 3. Alaska Fairbanks Jalea O'Keefe deposits another free throw, and the lead is extended to 12. The largest in the game for Fairbanks. Make it 13, thanks to Jalea O'Keefe. So here comes Jada Nielsen-Skinner for St. Martin's. Samuels emerging open, Trejo Delgado. Off the ball screen from Jay-Sean Moore. Stevens wafted, Skinny corralled. Off the fan pass. Jay-Sean Moore to Marcel Stevens. Trejo Delgado in the post with 5 to shoot. Leans into one, popped loose. Trejo Delgado fights in, scores.
He worked hard for that one.
11-point game in stride. Paul Johnson can't answer. Second attempt and a foul call. From end to end, Alaska Fairbanks, quick transition, leads to Elion Zeffenbergen to the free throw line. And he has been red hot last 3 games in double figures for Alaska Fairbanks. Zeffenbergen hits on the first free throw. He only scored 6 points. First meeting between these two foes. So here's Elion Zeffenbergen again. Edmonds, Washington native, went to school, Kings High School. Zeffenbergen chased after his own miss. Lighthall settles for St. Martin's with a 12-point deficit. Skinny, Marcel Stevens, browsed upon by Diego Trejo Delgado. Lighthall in a battle against Effenberger. Dyson Lighthall leans in and scores. Down to a 10-point game. St. Martin's has been in this spot in home games in the past. In their last 2 victories at home, they both trailed by 15. This shot offline from Griffin Effenberger. And the Saints on the move. Stevens missed on the triple. Chris Lee kick-starts the offense for Alaska Fairbanks. Isaiah Sams-Hoy left it. Elion Zeffenbergen. Here is Griffin Effenberger. Isaiah Sams-Hoy on Stevens. He'll head to the free throw line. And the St. Martin's faithful imploring for a foul call. Bluebirds out in full effect here at Marcus Pavilion. All while Isaiah Sams-Hoy patiently waits at the free throw line, looking for double figures. And he's got it. Back up to an 11-point lead. And for St. Martin's, they've been here before. They trailed by 15 against Western Oregon in their last win, in what turned in from 15-point deficit to a runaway victory for the Saints. They also trailed 45-30 in the second half against Northwest Nazarene. Trejo Delgado, Stevens, Skinny fakes the 3 to Stevens again. Right-handed dribble from Trejo Delgado. He looks to do it himself, no basket. Foul called against Alaska Fairbanks. Charged on Jalea O'Keefe, who picks up his 4th. So O'Keefe will take a seat for the Nanooks. Nielsen-Skinner browses. Here is Diego Trejo Delgado. Fakes the pass to Lighthall. On Sadu, Trejo Delgado will head to the free throw line. And when it comes to answering the call, you cannot question the effort that Diego Trejo Delgado has had this evening.
Well, he has the advantage over Sadu, so the more they can get the ball down to him with Sadu defending, the better.
Nearing a double-double. Trejo Delgado puts in the first free throw. Remember, we've seen this Saints team come back before. They've done it their last 2 wins here at Marcus Pavilion. A habit that, as far as the reconciliation phase is for this game and many others, you don't want to find yourself down 15 as a constant habit. Trejo Delgado does put through the free throws. Saints defense with work to do. It's this high-flying Nanook's offense, and a foul called. Charge against Jacob Harper. Picks up his second foul early. Zeffenbergen leaves it. Isaiah Sams Hoy, look at him dash. Stevens comes away the board and promptly gives it away, and a foul called. And the Saints will have the basketball, and here's another chance to seize momentum if you're St. Martin's.
The Nanook fans didn't like that call. But so it looks like most of the folks in attendance are not happy with the officials in one way or another.
Skinny 4-3. And it pops out, and a foul called against St. Martin's.
Well, that's their 6th team foul, so the next one's going to send the Nanooks to the bonus.
And not even anywhere close to the halfway mark. So Tomas Haga checks in. So Haga seeing action with this season on the line for St. Martin's. Jeremiah Hersrud on Nielsen Skinner. Dropped it. Paul Johnson. Harper forces the turnover. Here comes Jacob Harper left and Marcel Stevens. Nielsen Skinner. Haga playing in the post. Here's Skinny! Wide to the left. He'll head to the free throw line. Foul charge against Jeremiah Hersrud. So here is Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Leads in the conference in assists. Boy, he has battled for this Saints team in the recent weeks. With 12:04 to go in second half. Next foul for either team puts them in the bonus. Skinny converts on the back end. And a 9-point game with 12 minutes left. Hersrud left it for Paul Johnson up high. Off the handoff, Hersrud with speed. Out, Isaiah Sams Hoy. Launched one for Zeffenbergen, ran out of real estate. Saint basketball. Timeout called with 11:47 left. Saints fans, get ready for a homecoming weekend starting tomorrow, February 28th through March the 2nd, which will include the Distinguished Alumni Awards on Friday, coffee with the Monks Saturday morning, a Saints doubleheader later that day, and Mass on Sunday. We are especially excited to induct the 2024 Bob Grisham Hall of Fame Hall of Honor class on Saturday, March the 1st at noon in the Worthington Conference Center. Head to stmartin.edu/homecoming to register for events and to learn more. Jam-packed weekend, homecoming weekend that includes St. Martin's baseball in action against Central Washington. The great Sean Wally will have the call for the 2 doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday. Note the new start time for those games, noon and 3 o'clock, but different day. Instead of Friday and Saturday, Saturday and Sunday splits. But Larry Beck, St. Martin's, they get possession here. How do you build momentum?
You know, I don't have a great answer for you at this point. Give Coach a lot of credit. He's trying every trick of the book. The last thing they haven't done is gone to a press. And the momentum of this game's got to change somehow. That may be the way to do it.
They'll have to find it in some avenue. Otherwise, their postseason hopes will rest in Western Oregon, a team that's only won one conference game all year. Marcel Stevens. Look at him jet to the basket and score.
That was nicely done.
Able to find the open gap along the left weak side. And a 7-point game. Nathan Sadoo to Elion Zeffenberger. Looks to set up Chris Lee. He'll float one that pops out. Haga. Nielsen Skinner. Oh, what a play! And did he save it? He did not. Nielsen Skinner almost pulled a rabbit out of the hat to steal possession. Instead, the Nanooks will inbound from the inline. Late substitution, Griffin Effenberger for the Nanooks. With a 7-point game and a haltage of play and a timeout called by Franco Stanek and the Nanooks with 11-11 left in the game. Well, you go through changes of momentum in a game. St. Martin's has scored the last 5 points, but this seems to be a case where it's more of, in some ways, a long 5K almost to try and get back into this game.
Yeah, there hasn't been a spark that has, sometimes you grab momentum and the change in the score is very quick. Team gets on a 12-0 run in 2 minutes, or 2.5 minutes. We haven't seen anything like that. It's like, we're making advancements, but we've got our feet in blocks of cement.
There's got to be, if St. Martin's is going to find something here, there's got to be a spark. It's got to be a long three or something that can change the momentum, maybe an and one that can typify this game, because Alaska Fairbanks, they have found their scoring, and it's been well distributed. Not one Nanook has eclipsed 12 points yet, but you have 3, all at 11.
Yeah.
So for scoring, a huge proponent of that is Isaiah Sams-Hoy.
Yeah, he's had a really good game. Really good game.
Leading in rebounds, assists, tied the lead for scoring. Quite the resume for Isaiah Sams-Hoy. Johnson. Haga defending, and he commits the foul on Zeffenbergen. So Haga commits the foul. Zeffenbergen at the line. Again, a 45% free throw shooter, and that foul puts Alaska Fairbanks into the bonus. So here's Zeffenbergen. First free throw attempt, he missed it. 1 of 3 from the charity stripe this evening. Zeffenbergen for the second try. Points so valuable in a game like this one. Zeffenbergen goes 1 for 2. Here is Marcel Stevens. Trejo Delgado again, looking to go to work on Kathan Sadoo. Stevens, team high 16 points. No open look. Skinny, straight to the tin. Popped in by Trejo Delgado. That's what the Saints need, down to a 6-point game. Paul Johnson left it for Zeffenbergen. He'll ride to the left side. Kathan Sadoo to Effenberger. Pestered by Stevens. Shooting the 3. Popped out of the cylinder.
Yeah, that was a shot that was going to drop in the first half for the Nanooks.
Stevens missed on the triple attempt. Harper can't save it, out of play.
That would have been a big shot had it gone.
And for St. Martin's, they have gone 1 of 18 from 3 after starting 2 of 5. It has been a cold spell from beyond the arc. Saints slowly chipping away at the lead. 7-1 run. Zeffenbergen in the post is fouled again by Tomas Hege. So Hege commits his second, which sends Alaska Fairbanks to the free throw line. Elion Zeffenbergen again. He missed it. Hey, and Hege can't. He sets up possession for St. Martin's. And now here comes Dyson Lighthall. What impact can he make?
Well, given Zeffenbergen's free throw shooting percentage, being in the bonus right now or having Nanooks in the bonus may actually be to our advantage.
Here's Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Harper. Stevens out to Trejo Delgado. Harper emerging on the right side. He'll jet in. Here is Dyson Lighthall. Missed it. Off his own miss. A second try. A third try. He scores.
Working hard. Working really hard for those 2 points. And we got a 4-point game, my friend.
Fasten your seatbelt. Saints playing for their playoff lives. Here's a 3 from Paul Johnson that rattles out. Stevens. He'll slow it. Tyler Velasquez tells Trejo Delgado to go to work on Chris Lee. Out to Stevens. Watched by Effenberger. Marcel Stevens. Dyson Lighthall in the post. Finds it. It's a 2-point game with 8:45 to go. Here comes Alaska Fairbanks. Lee. Effenberger. Dashing inside. Oh, what a find. Zeffenbergen. What a play. Elion Zeffenbergen will head to the free throw line just when the Saints claw within range. Zeffenbergen with a huge play.
Fantastic pass by Effenberger. Found the open guy and an easy 2 points.
So to the free throw line, Elion Zeffenbergen. His free throw shooting put more underneath the microscope. He's able to convert. And a 5-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Here's Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Lighthall. Left it for Stevens. Skinny to Harper. Lighthall in the post. Watched by Zeffenbergen. Lighthall rolled off the rim and out. 8:05 to go. Launch for Jalea O'Keefe, who does have 4 fouls. Lighthall on Zeffenbergen. Out to Chris Lee. And legal screen called on Lee. And gives St. Martin's possession after the foul call. And that is called on Jalea O'Keefe, who was fouled out of the game. How big is that? O'Blarney's is the proud post-game hub for all things Saints athletics. With delicious food, a wide plethora of drinks, weekly events, and a convenient central location, there's no better place to unwind with friends and family after a Saints doubleheader. Stop by their Olympia location at 4411 Martin Way East. 7:56 left. Saints starting to claw back. Alaska Fairbanks will have to go back to the drawing board with the absence of Jalea O'Keefe.
Well, and losing him is going to hurt them down below. So this is where take advantage of our size, continue to feed it down low. Right now, I wouldn't count on our 3-point shooting to get us out of this. So we're going to have to work our offense down low.
And we've seen that with Dyson Lighthall several times.
Yes.
Back-to-back good looks, able to score. And look for more from Diego Trejo Delgado. He has a double-double, 14 points and 10 boards. So the tail of the tape definitely looks as if points in the paint will be the indicator of how this game could be won for St. Martin's.
Right.
Points in the paint favor SMU 36-16. It's been a huge tail of the tape for how the Saints have been able to rally and forget the three-point shooting.
Yeah.
Go down low and see what can happen with your two key stars. And for now, Dyson Lighthall providing that role for SMU. See, they set it up again, and foul charge again on Chris Lee. Beg your pardon, Elion Effenbergen charged on the foul. So here's Dyson Lighthall at the free throw line with SMU in the bonus in a 5-point game. Make it 4 off the free throw conversion from Lighthall. 56% free throw shooter is Lighthall. The pressure of the season hanging in the balance. Lighthall is able to convert, and it's a one-possession game once again. Alaska Fairbanks led at 1 point by 13. Here is Isaiah Sams-Hoy on Stevens, backs it up. Griffin Effenberger. Here's Effenbergen. Looking for Sams-Hoy. Harper defending, out of play. Possession to Alaska Fairbanks. Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. So here's Griffin Effenberger for Alaska Fairbanks. Looking for Sams-Hoy, and a foul called on the push from Sams-Hoy. Third foul for him in the game.
That was a really easy call for the officials to make. It was a big push.
Saints look to preserve time, down by 3 with 7:25 left in the game. Lighthall surveys and gives to Jacob Harper. Nielsen Skinner off his right-handed dribble. Lighthall to Harper. Samuels in the post. He has battled all game. Samuels missed it. Stevens, second chance. Lighthall again.
Lighthall's having a really good second half.
He has been fantastic. Nernooks looking to counter. Pressure coming, and a foul called on Jacob Harper. Third foul of the game for him. And that immediately sends to the free throw line Griffin Effenberger. For Effenberger, scored 13 points against Alaska Anchorage this season and Western Washington. Effenberger hopes of a breakout game today. Chance to have 7 points in the contest if he were to make this next free throw. Effenberger at the free throw line for a 3-point lead. He puts it in. Nernooks lead by 3 with 6:45 to go. Nielsen Skinner popped it in. 1 point game with 6:35 to go.
That's really going to help this offense. Getting some scoring that's not coming from just your bigs.
Effenberger finds Effenbergen, corner 3, missed by Johnson, lost out of play. Possession stays with Alaska Fairbanks. Trejo Delgado asks for a review, one that won't be forthcoming. Johnson up ahead, corner three, Johnson converts. Paul Johnson, a massive three for Alaska Fairbanks. Stevens for Nielsen Skinner. They'll play catch. Samuels with Trejo Delgado in the post. Samuels spins in the lane. He is fouled. He'll head to the free throw line. You cannot question the level of compete from this Saints team. They have run up against a stout Alaska Fairbanks program. Here's Miles Samuels. Been quiet in the scoring department. He scores his 5th point right there. Second foul on Zeffenbergen. Samuels chased his own miss. Trejo Delgado, the saving grace for the Saints, and official blows play dead off a foul call. And this, well, they readjust the shot clock. Everything's all oriented. Back we go. Here's Marcel Stevens on Sam's Hoy. Trejo Delgado in the post. Pass broken up by Chris Lee. Stevens for a deep three. Missed it wide to the left. Sam's Hoy. 3-on-2 for Alaska Fairbanks. He scores. 5-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Quickly ahead. Skinny and haltage of play. Stevens hits the three. A very unfortunate sequence.
Well, you know why the fans are upset. We had a similar play in the first half that the officials did not stop the game. Fairbanks scored on that play. Here, we have the same exact situation, almost the same exact spot where the injured player was, and we knocked down a three-pointer. I don't blame the fans on this one.
Effenberger is being escorted. Certainly hope for the best for his well-being. He'll be attended to by the training staff. And it's moments like these. It's not about whether it happened. Yes, that's big, but how do you respond?
Yep, absolutely.
With a three that is in some constraints wiped off the board. Here's Stevens, popped out. Samuels fights for the board. He'll head to the free throw line. A grinded out fight in a game with massive playoff implications.
Yeah, we're like now, using the fight analogy, we're like about round 11, around 12. Both fighters are getting a little bloodied here.
Nothing like the tension of a game with massive playoff implications. Northwest Nazarene a winner against Simon Fraser. So NNU clinches first round bye in the postseason. Here is Miles Samuels at the free throw line. Diminishes an Anarch lead down to 4. For a one-possession game. Samuels loose. Trejo Delgado can't come away with the offensive board. And here comes Alaska Fairbanks with Chris Lee. He's hit 2 threes in the game for Alaska Fairbanks. Isaiah Sam's Hoy backs up, shoots, and drills it. 6-point lead. Enge Pixari plays catch with Trejo Delgado. Backdoor feed, Trejo Delgado lost his dribble, turns and scores! Counting the foul for Diego Trejo Delgado!
That's all hard work right there. He stayed with it and stayed with it and stayed with it, got his rebound, put it back in, and got fouled.
16 points, all a part of a double-double performance for Diego Trejo Delgado. He looks to add one more to make it a 3-point game. And we've seen a performance like this in non-conference play against Cal State East Bay. For a one-possession game, he missed it. So here comes Alaska Fairbanks with a 4-point lead. Making the trip from up north, playing inspired basketball. Sams Hoy is fouled. He'll head to the free throw line. With 4:28 left in the game. It'll be two-possession game. Some variety. What the margin will be, we'll find out here with Sams Hoy, 75% free throw shooter. He makes the first with 4:28 left. Second try for Sams Hoy. He goes 2 for 2 in a 6-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Ige Pixar against the backpedaling Paul Johnson. Off the light hall screen, Stevens emerges. Defended by Lee. Stevens has it again. Look at the battle in the post between Lighthall and Zeffenbergen. Trejo Delgado along the weak side. Samuels, Lighthall scores.
Some excellent passing down low.
All set up across the board up top from Marcel Stevens. Here is Chris Lee for Alaska Fairbanks. 3:55 left. Zeffenbergen, chest pass. Found by Sadu. Paul Johnson on Ege Pixari. Look to force one into Zeffenbergen. Possession to St. Martin's with 3:44 left. Timeout called in this battle-tested game with a playoff spot hanging in the balance. Forelli's Pizza has been locally owned and operated for almost 30 years and is the preferred pizza partner of Saints Athletics. Their top-of-line ingredients and quality service make for a one-of-a-kind experience that you can't beat. Marcus Pavilion has Forelli's Pizza in the arena. That can be found at the concession stand. Forelli's Pizza, a good momentary distraction, how good it can taste from the drama on the hard court.
Well, these next 3 minutes and 44 seconds are going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, they go the way we'd like them to go. But it's been, the second half has lived up to the billing of what this game was all about.
And St. Martin's has been able to do that with dominance in the paint, outmatching Fairbanks 44-20. How about points off turnovers? And that's been unforeseen key. 18-7 edge for St. Martin's.
Yes.
And in cases where big plays, transition buckets are important, St. Martin's has clawed their way back. But 3:42 remains from one team having a major win. If Alaska Fairbanks wins, they will not have clinched a playoff spot, but they will face Western Oregon on Saturday. Win, and they're in against Western Oregon team that's only won one GNAC game this season. They can also get in with a St. Martin's loss to Alaska Anchorage. Saints, with a win, will clinch a GNAC spot. Trejo Delgado scores again! He is unconscious!
That was a man's play right there. He went in strong, kept his balance. Pretty play.
Trejo Delgado putting the team on his back with hopes to make it a one-point game. 18 points. His 19th would make it a 1-point game. And Trejo Delgado calmly puts in the free throw. 3:37 left. Here comes Chris Lee. Lee will settle against Nielsen Skinner. Isaiah Sams Hoy rides to the 10 and scores. What a play!
That was a fantastic shot.
Saints pick up the pace. Stevens to answer. Yes, he can! The game is tied with 3:10 to go. Timeout, Alaska Fairbanks. Marcel Stevens, after St. Martin's had gone 1 of 20 from 3, Stevens ends the three-point shooting woes emphatically.
Yes, he did. And what a time for that to come. You know, you knew it was good as soon as it released his hand. So hopefully he's got that. He's got a couple more still left in his hip pocket.
But what a shot from Stevens to tie the game, trailing all second half. And now a brand new ball game. And for Alaska Fairbanks, again, you're without Jalea O'Keefe, who's fouled out. Elion Zeffenbergen has 4 fouls additionally. So you have that level of concern for Alaska Fairbanks. What do you do if you're Franco Stanek and the Nanook side?
Well, this is the tough part when you get down to you get caught by your opponent late in the game, and you know this wasn't as if the Saints had to come back from 20. You know, their biggest deficit was 13. That's a pretty easy turnaround. So sometimes teams run out of gas when they make the comeback. I think the gas tank's pretty full for the Saints right now. So I'd rather be in the Saints' shoes right now than the Nanooks.
The long roller coaster ride sets us up for the final 3 minutes. Paul Johnson dashing to the bucket. Sams Hoy is blocked by Lighthall. 4-on-3 for St. Martin's. Nielsen Skinner, Samuels glides in, rolled off the rim and out. Settled by Chris Lee, and a foul called that sends Alaska Fairbanks to the free throw line.
And that was a silly foul there.
Marcel Stevens, his first foul of the game, sends Chris Lee, 79% free throw shooter, to the line. So here is Chris Lee. His free throw sinks in. And Alaska Fairbanks is in the lead once again, with 2:41 remaining. Nanooks a win. They control their playoff destiny. St. Martin's a win. Playoffs clinched. Lee converts on the free throw. Alaska Fairbanks up by 2. And a wet spot on the floor, and grounds crew will tend to the floor. A brief break in the action, and a timeout called with 2:41 left. If you are associate head coach Tyler Velasquez, what are you saying to your team after one heck of a roller coaster just to get to this point?
Well, you know, at this point, they've got the momentum, and just more you want them to do is calm down and have fun. You know, if you have fun, this game is so cool that right now, yeah, there's some pressure, but that's what makes it so much fun. This is their moment to really enjoy the moment and take advantage of it. Plus, if you speak from that perspective, rather than the pressure point, your players are going to more likely to not execute much better.
See what execution St. Martin's can bring out with 2:41 left in the game. St. Martin's brings out Lighthall, Nielsen, Skinner, Stevens, Trejo Delgado, and Miles Samuels. Look at Jaden Nielsen, Skinner fly. Lighthall left it for Samuels, Trejo Delgado sets up Marcel Stevens, blocked on the play by Zeffenbergen. Remember that play. 2:25 left. Lee. Zeffenbergen playing with 4 fouls. A massive block. Can St. Martin's come up with a stand? Isaiah Sams Hoy on Trejo Delgado. Back outside. Sams Hoy again. Dished it inside. It pinballs in. 4-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Lighthall to Marcel Stevens. Trejo Delgado on Isaiah Sams Hoy. Can he do it again? He scores.
Boy, I would love to see a replay on that last bucket for Alaska Fairbanks. It looks like that ball got touched to the cylinder, but call it wasn't made, and they were a lot closer than we are.
1:35 left. Effenberger. 90 seconds left in the game. Left for Sams Hoy. Effenberger for 3. Wide to the right. Lee pursues the offensive board.
What a big rebound by Lee.
Stevens watches him. Possession critical. We are in the final minute. Effenberger on Trejo Delgado to the 10. Rolled off the rim and scoring is Zeffenbergen. Elion Zeffenbergen with a huge play. A 4-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks with 55 seconds left.
This is why we love the game. You know, got up and down action. This game could turn in so many different directions in these last 55 seconds. Give the Saints a lot of credit. They hung in there and hung in there when they were not playing well. And they figured out how to crawl back into this game. But give Alaska Fairbanks credit. They got to a point where the Saints got them tied, and they made 2 back-to-back plays that put them back into the lead, which is where they are now.
So what are you planning here? Do you try to go with the 3 to make it a 1-point game on this possession?
You're going to want to get the best shot you can get.
Yeah.
If that happens to be a 3, so be it. But get the very best shot you can get. You know, a layup, a turnaround, two-footer is a much better shot than a 3-pointer, which, given our shooting percentage from 3-point line right now, hasn't been great. Plus, they've got a big guy that's got sitting with 4 fouls. So I would go down low.
Elion Zeffenbergen, 4 fouls, 13 points. Isaiah Sams Hoy, he has not missed a free throw, 6 of 6, 21 points. The edge in scoring for Alaska Fairbanks. Another big scoring day for Isaiah Sams Hoy. 52 seconds left. Lighthall around the perimeter. Stevens right back to Lighthall. 4-3. Off the 10. Samuels pursues the board. Comes down with it. Stevens again. Scores! 35 seconds left.
I'm sure the Lighthall 3 wasn't on the top of the list of shots they were going to take.
They do like that shot a lot. And a timeout called. They like to set up that play, and they used it effectively with Lighthall because he has that propensity from either wing. He hits the 3, 1-point game with 29 seconds left. And now it is, well, now we are into round 12.
Yes. Expect Alaska Fairbanks to chew up as much clock as they can, and in hopes of getting a really good shot. I'd be shocked if they shot it early.
And they've shot the 3 well, unlike their first game against St. Martin's, where they couldn't buy a 3 all first half. Now the 3 definitely a weapon that St. Martin's has to account for.
Yep. Well, that, as we talked about a lot in this game, the difference in this game, much of it has been the three-point shooting.
1 point game. Effenberger lobbed ahead for Zeffenbergen, surrounded and fouled. And Elion Zeffenbergen, another trip to the free throw line.
Well, they fouled the guy they wanted to foul.
Again, Elion Zeffenbergen, 45% free throw shooter for Alaska Fairbanks.
Although he has knocked down the last two.
In the game, 3 of 6 from the line. Saints faithful in full throat. Zeffenbergen hits the first, and it's a 2-point game with 26.3 left. Here's Zeffenbergen to make it a 3-point game. Zeffenbergen hits both of them when Alaska Fairbanks needed it most. Shot clock turned off. Stevens. Trejo Delgado dashes inside to the bucket and scores. 1 point game with 18 seconds left. Sadu gets it away in time for Paul Johnson. Nielsen Skinner commits the foul. And again, to the free throw line we go. So Skinny picks up his second foul. Paul Johnson, 73% free throw shooter. And for Johnson, 14-point effort. He'll look to add more from the line for Alaska Fairbanks. The most important free throws of the Alaska Fairbanks season. Johnson missed the first attempt. So, St. Martin's with a chance for the lead on the next possession. Johnson hits it. 2-point game with 16.2 to go. Timeout, Tyler Velasquez. Catch your breath. And if you're St. Martin's, where do you go?
Wow.
You have...
The guy I would really want to see with the ball is Diego Trejo Delgado. He has had a great second half. He is much more mobile than some of the other bigs. And plus, he has been tenacious in the second half, going after rebounds. So even if he misses, he's got another shot of grabbing that ball and getting another shot off. So that'd be where I'd like him to go. But, Alaska Fairbanks they probably know the very same thing that I do.
They have double teamed Trejo Delgado. Away we go. 16 seconds left. Nielsen Skinner on the advance. Dropped it for Stevens. 10 seconds left. Nielsen Skinner dropped it. Trejo Delgado to the bucket, is fouled on the way with 7.6 left. Diego Trejo Delgado against Cal State East Bay was fouled in the closing seconds. He had 3 attempts from the line to tie the game. Once again, 2 massive free throws. 58% free throw shooter. Against Cal State East Bay, he hit all 3 to tie the game, send the contest to overtime, which St. Martin's eventually won. He has 2 tries here with hopes to tie the game. He hits the first. Jay-Sean Moore, a defensive substitution for St. Martin's. This to tie the game. He's got it. 7.6 remaining. Effenberger. Sams Hoy. Got it out for Effenberger. 3 seconds left. Effenberger marches in. Right side. And Fairbanks runs out of time, and we head for overtime.
Well, we didn't want this game to end now.
We got bonus basketball. An extra 5 minutes to decide the axis of the GNAC playoff picture. And once again, Diego Trejo Delgado with the season this time on the line. Huge free throws to keep the Saints in it.
There was no hesitation on his part. Those were two of the cleanest free throws you'll ever see shot. I mean, there was no doubt as soon as the ball left his hand. So, you know what? This is why we love the game. We get to go to overtime with a lot on the line for both teams.
Remember, Alaska Fairbanks led by 13 at one point, 51-38. But now for this game, these two teams, their playoff hopes hinge on these next 5 minutes. What a basketball game from these two teams tonight. Alaska Fairbanks has lost the last 11 times these two teams have met.
Something to keep in mind, Alaska Fairbanks has two players with 4 fouls.
Isaiah Sams Hoy and Elion Zeffenbergen.
And the Saints only have a couple guys with 3 fouls, so advantage Saints.
Who will have the advantage in overtime? Trejo Delgado against Elion Zeffenbergen. Overtime underway from Marcus Pavilion. Here is Marcel Stevens. Given to Jay-Sean Moore. Stevens pops open up high. He'll back up. Shoot! Missed it. Samuels lost the board out of play. Possession to Alaska Fairbanks. And it's in games like these, we're playing in close games, can go a long way. Alaska Fairbanks has played close to the heart rate monitor. Wild games, 19-point comebacks, games that have ended on the final shot. Another pressure-packed situation for the Nanooks. Effenberger tipped in by Zeffenbergen. What a play. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, watched by Isaiah Sams Hoy. Samuels dropped it. Diego Trejo Delgado dashing inside. Lunges into one and scores. Pure will.
What a wonderful fake.
27 points for Trejo Delgado. Oh, what a pass. Taken away by Diego Trejo Delgado. He'll march on in. Trejo Delgado able to head to the free throw line. With 3:41 left in overtime. We mentioned it from the top. St. Martin's was going to win this game. Diego Trejo Delgado had to have an impact, and 27 points, 11 rebounds. I'd say that's a little bit of an impact.
Well, and he did much of that in the second half.
A complete night and day performance. Here's Trejo Delgado again at the free throw line, where he had his 2 free throws converted the most critical time. He gives the Saints the lead. Diego Trejo Delgado had 5 points at halftime.
Yeah.
And he has had 23 in the second half. Putting the team on your back with hopes for more. This is number 29. That gives St. Martin's 2-point lead. Jeremiah Hersrud. Floated by Johnson, missed it. Zeffenbergen with the board, loose on the deck. Trejo Delgado underneath it, and a travel call against Trejo Delgado. And Alaska Fairbanks with an all-important possession from the end line. Johnson will overlook the grid. Again, Jaleo O'Keefe has fouled out of the game for Alaska Fairbanks. Isaiah Sams Hoy to the right side of your screen. He's got 4 fouls, as does Elion Zeffenbergen from the right pocket. Paul Johnson, most patient wait here in Lacey, dished it in for Chris Lee. 3:20 left. Lee from the free throw line, spins, kicked out. Paul Johnson dashing inside. Johnson, what a find! Zeffenbergen scores to tie the game.
That was a great pass on Johnson's part.
Alaska Fairbanks has played in 2 overtime games. They've lost them both. Samuels to Trejo Delgado. He'll lunge into one. It pinballs in, and the Saints have the lead back with 2:45 to go. Isaiah Sams Hoy. He'll dash straight to the bucket. Short. Nielsen Skinner on the advance for St. Martin's. Samuels. Matched up on Paul Johnson. Samuels to the bucket is blocked by the defending Johnson. Sams Hoy, left side. Lee slows it. 2:10 left. Given for Jeremiah Hersrud. Sams Hoy to the bucket. He scores! Counting the foul for Isaiah Sams Hoy. This game has had everything. Isaiah Sams Hoy can give Alaska Fairbanks the lead back. A terrific game continues. Sams Hoy gives Alaska Fairbanks the lead.
What a critical 3-point play for Sam Hoyt. He, that if Fairbanks had not gotten those points, I like the Saints' chances of prevailing.
Stevens missed on the layup. Fairbanks on the move. Here is Isaiah Sams Hoy with the lead and the basketball. With 1:40 to go. Jay-Sean Moore defending. Sams Hoy fakes it on Moore, on inside, off of. They'll review it. They will check the replay. From the view up here, which doesn't carry any worth, looked as if it went off of Jay-Sean Moore, but the officials, they'll look at it. And this is a critical possession. If St. Martin's...
Well, it's pretty evident that 2 of the officials didn't feel they saw enough of it to make the call. So you only have 1 out of 3 that had a definitive call to make. So it'll be interesting to see how their discussion goes.
Point in the paint battle. St. Martin's has the edge, 54-32. An overwhelming percentage of the scoring from St. Martin's has been in the paint, but a critical review, and as you see on your screen, 2 officials will look at it, they'll discuss it, they'll rotate out, and the officials, of course, they're always the butt ends of a lot of criticism. Commendable effort so far this evening with how this game has gone with high pressure situations, and officials, they have a very tough job to do.
Absolutely. These are dedicated professionals that really work on their craft. I've gotten to know many officials over the years, and it takes a special person to be a basketball referee. And, you know, this is a very experienced crew. You know, I've worked with this crew many, many times over the years. So they know what they're doing.
And they continue to look over this play. And in each huddle, you're discussing whether Fairbanks has the basketball. And they continue to look at it. The ruling from the floor was St. Martin basketball.
Yes, that was the ruling.
So you have to look for significant evidence to overturn the ruling. We've heard this plenty of times.
And one of the things that they may be taking a real close look at is what time is on the clock. You know, they may have already made the call as to who's going to get possession of the ball. They're trying to figure out how much time should be on the clock.
So they continue to look, and the St. Martin's bench taking occasional peeks at the monitor. And now they discuss in the middle, and the rest of the world patiently waits for the ruling. One that has a massive impact here with Alaska Fairbanks in the lead. Again, a win from the Nanooks. They control their own destiny. The game against Western Oregon, and possession goes to St. Martin's with 1:34 to go. Whitehall with St. Martin's down by 1. Nielsen Skinner. Jets on the attack. Trejo Delgado. Masterful second half. He'll close in again. Short. Lee settles for Alaska Fairbanks. Chris Lee. Watched by Miles Samuels. Isaiah Sams Hoy, 24 points in the game. Fakes the shot out to Chris Lee. Herzrud going for a lap. Lee sachets, shoots off the rim. It pinballs out, popped up in the air. Nielsen Skinner fighting for the board. Another offensive rebound for Fairbanks. 44 seconds left. Lee in no hurry. Off the Zeffenbergen screen. Lee shoots the 3 off the heel. Nielsen Skinner the board. Shot clock turned off for St. Martin's. Nielsen Skinner from the arm joint. Fakes, shoots, short. Lighthall snatches, fouled. And St. Martin's will head to the free throw line with Dyson Lighthall.
And that might be it for Elion Zeffenbergen.
It is. Zeffenbergen fouls out. In comes Kathan Sidhu. Alaska Fairbanks would be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss. Dyson Lighthall, 55% free throw shooter for St. Martin's. Most critical free throws of the season. Lighthall makes the first. Timeout called by Frank Ostanek Alaska Fairbanks, and this is all about icing the free throw shooter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, how late does Blarney stay open?
It'll be a long, we'll see how long that goes. More importantly, though.
Because I thought you were buying, right?
I am. I am. But for Dyson Lighthall, a chance to give St. Martin's the lead with 15 seconds. And now, in each huddle, you're talking about each scenario.
Yep.
If you make it, how do you adjust defensively? And in the same case for Alaska Fairbanks of what offensive look you'll bring in what is a tie ball game. One way or the other, Alaska Fairbanks will have a chance to win the game. So here's Dyson Lighthall to give St. Martin's the lead after trailing by 13 in the second half. Lighthall missed it. Scrap for the loose ball, and possession goes to Alaska Fairbanks with 14 seconds left.
He's called a foul.
So the foul sends Alaska Fairbanks to the free throw line. It came in the aftermath of the miss. So pressured free throws for Kathan Sidhu, who has been on the bench for this majority of the second half. Miles Samuels imploring response. The St. Martin's crowd. Sidhu missed the first free throw. The pressure of the season. Winner of this game be in great position for a GNAC playoff spot. Kathan Sidhu, 64% free throw shooter to give Alaska Fairbanks the lead. Sidhu missed both of them. Trejo Delgado the board, and a timeout from Tyler Velasquez with 11.8 to go. Diego Trejo Delgado has scored 31. Marcel Stevens, 22. Dyson Lighthall off the bench has scored 19. And you have plenty of options if you're Tyler Velasquez.
They've gone to Trejo Delgado many times in this overtime period in the latter part of the fourth quarter. The size difference between Lighthall and Sidhu is substantial, and if it were me, I think that'd be where I put ball, particularly given he just nailed both of his free throws.
Elion Zeffenbergen fouled out of the game, as was Jalea O'Keefe. 11.8 to go. Here comes Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. From up high, Nielsen-Skinner to Trejo Delgado. Glides in, popped out, Lighthall, 2 seconds left, and we are headed for double overtime. After 5 minutes of one overtime, we go an extra. This game has had everything, and we have a second overtime as a treat, if you can call it that. But what a battle, what a game when it comes down to two teams battling for a playoff spot. Without question, both teams playing at their absolute best.
Well, everything's on the line, and they're playing with everything they've got.
So, Alaska Fairbanks, they have played 2 overtime games this season. It all began in the first game of the year against Chaminade, a game they lost. Then another overtime game against Simon Fraser in what was also a wild one. But double overtime necessary in this game. For St. Martin's, they went to overtime against Cal State East Bay in what was a wild game. Won by St. Martin's. But now, a second overtime. Into the night, Marcus Pavilion, we go. Second overtime, underway. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner on the advance for St. Martin's. A win clinches a playoff spot for the Saints. GNAC tournament hosted right here in Lacey. Nielsen-Skinner motors on in. Going on a trip from the right arm joint. Miles Samuels spins, turns, shoots, buries it. And Miles Samuels gives St. Martin's the lead back. Isaiah Sams Hoy taken down and a foul called on Diego Trejo Delgado, and that is his fifth, if it is on him. And it is on Diego Trejo Delgado. He has put on one heck of an effort. 31 points, 14 boards, including going 8 of 10 from the free throw line. And for Trejo Delgado, one heck of an effort.
Yeah, he had one outstanding game. He was really the guy who brought St. Martin's back in the second half.
But now it'll be up to the rest of the Saints. First free throw sunk from Isaiah Sams Hoy, up to 25 points. Next one would tie him for his season high. He hits it. And the roller coaster leveled again. Nielsen-Skinner. From the left side, Jay-Sean Moore. Kicked out for Nielsen-Skinner. Moore again. Closing on Chris Lee. Jay-Sean Moore. And he'll head to the free throw line to shoot free throws. 69% free throw shooter, Jay-Sean Moore. And in games like this, free throw shooters that might not have the highest of marks are called upon when it matters the most with the season on the line. So here's Jay-Sean Moore. He puts in the first to give St. Martin's the lead back. Second try for Jay-Sean Moore, who had battled injury, missed a month and a half. He misses on the back end. St. Martin's with a 1-point lead. Isaiah Sams Hoy from up high. He'll shoot the three. Rolled off the rim and out. Nielsen-Skinner on ahead for St. Martin's. On inside, Dyson Lighthall to the bucket. Rolled off the tin. Alaska Fairbanks looks to break out. Isaiah Sams Hoy. Up high for Chris Lee. Left side for Griffin Effenberger. On Miles Samuels. Effenberger. No. Oh, it popped in. Griffin Effenberger on a shot that hung on the rim. And Alaska Fairbanks in the lead. Marcel Stevens. Lighthall. Skinny. Fakes the three. On in. He is fouled. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner heads to the free throw line. And he is put on one heck of an effort. And Isaiah Sams Hoy has just fouled out of the game. Isaiah Samshoy, 26 points. More importantly, going 9-9 from the free throw line. He's done all he could. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner hits the first free throw. Accurate free throw shooter, 83%. This for the tie. He puts in both of them. Keep in mind, Jayshawn Moore does have 4 fouls. Chris Lee sprints to the bucket, off the window. Here comes Miles Samuels. Moore with 4 fouls. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner in the tie game with 2:35 to go. Nielsen-Skinner, Jayshawn Moore from the left side. Nielsen-Skinner finds Lighthall, who scores. St. Martin's in the lead.
What a fantastic bounce pass. That was fabulous.
The leader in helpers, Najinak, with his biggest one yet. Paul Johnson kicked it. Kathan Sadu missed on the triple. Rebound loose. Griffin Effenberger, after hitting the 3, lunging one deep. Contarius Mingo, left side. Here's Paul Johnson. He hits the 3. Alaska Fairbanks in the lead with 1:50 to go in double overtime. Nielsen-Skinner. Here's Jayshawn Moore. Nielsen-Skinner again. Stevens for 3. Off the rim and out. Loose ball. Samuels lunges. Fouled.
Oh.
Held ball possession.
Oh, that jump ball. Possession here belongs to Alaska Fairbanks.
A massive call with 90 seconds to go. Jeremiah Hersrud in the game, with Cortarius Mingo seeing critical minutes down the stretch. The officials will talk it over. Double overtime. St. Martin's with a win would clinch a playoff spot. Alaska Fairbanks with a victory would have the inside track to the final GNAC playoff spot. They will face Western Oregon on Saturday. And the overarching question, what will be the worth of that game? But credit to Alaska Fairbanks. They have played through so much adversity. 3 players have fouled out, still clinging to a 1-point lead. But for St. Martin's, with Diego Trejo Delgado fouling out of the game, who's going to carry the weight for the Saints? Dyson Lighthall scored 21. Marcel Stevens, 22. But their top scoring threat fouls out.
Yes. Well, this might be, we talked earlier in the broadcast about Miles Sanders and his impact. This might be his moment right now.
For Samuels, 8 points, 6 boards, 2 blocks in the game. And for Samuels, he has battled through adversity with hitting the deck hard in the first half and then being checked out now in a very important juncture with the season heavily hanging in the balance off this game. The officials still overlooking the held ball. A camera viewpoint that comes from up high, directly above us. And officials award possession to Fairbanks off the held ball with 90 seconds left. And for Alaska Fairbanks, what are you looking for on this offensive possession? The 3?
Well, that's been their bread and butter all game, and that's why they have the lead right now because of a three.
Intercepted. Jay-Sean Moore. Nielsen Skinner. Dances. Samuels lost it out of play, and Alaska Fairbanks has the ball back.
Well, unfortunately, we were a little out of control there.
Back where we started with 1:10 to go. Here's Griffin Effenberger. He lost it out of play. Possession to the Saints. 1:05 to go. And St. Martin's will inbound. Here comes Jaden Nielsen Skinner.
Well, the last couple of possessions haven't been very clean, have they?
What about this one? Lighthall gives to Samuels. Nielsen Skinner from the right side. Marcel Stevens. Samuels. Jay-Sean Moore with 4 fouls in the game. On Chris Lee, Jay-Sean Moore is fouled. Critical free throws. First from Diego Trejo Delgado, and then Dyson Lighthall. And now Jay-Sean Moore with 42.9 seconds left. .69% free throw shooter. Jay-Sean Moore sinks in the first to tie the game.
They don't have to be pretty.
And timeout called by Franco Stanek. Alaska Fairbanks again with the timeout icing. And in critical free throws like this, the game on the line for you, Larry Beck, what's going on through your head?
Well, if I'm the free throw shooter, I'm going to continue to think about my mechanics. I think about my mechanics, not about the pressure, but just go back to what I've done 1,000 times before and just make sure that my mechanics are A-okay and then fire away. If you make it, great, but no matter what, the Saints are going to have to come out and play tough defense with this next possession.
With 42.9 left to give St. Martin's the lead. Missed all of December with an injury. One that came on the Alaska road trip. Jay-Sean Moore for the lead. Puts it in. 42.9 left. Here comes Alaska Fairbanks. Herzrud. 30 seconds left in the contest. Navigating right side. Kicked it. Paul Johnson hits the three!
Wow.
And Alaska Fairbanks leads by 2.
That's
Nielsen Skinner.
shot.
Timeout called with 21.8 to go. What a clutch 3 from Paul Johnson.
The proverbial blood in his veins, or ice in his veins. He didn't hesitate.
A massive 3 to give Alaska Fairbanks the lead. St. Martin's already has given up the most points they have all year. Previous high at one point was 91. But now, where can St. Martin's find the scoring? But Paul Johnson provided that role for Alaska Fairbanks. He scored 21 points, 6 of them off threes. A complete barn burner from Lacey. For St. Martin's, they have relied after cold three-point shooting Their reliance in the paint has brought them back into this game. But with their playoff lives teetering on its axis, 21.8 to go. Here comes Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Dropped it for Jay-Sean Moore. With 14 seconds left. Moore sifted outside. Stevens rides in! Off the rim, tipped in by Lighthole! The basket will not count. And 2 attempts at the line. Chris Lee accounts for his 3rd foul. And Marcel Stevens with a 22-point effort with 7.7 left. Stevens hits the first.
Calm, cool, collected on that one.
To tie the game. He hits them both. And the game is tied once again. Jacob Harper checks in defensively for St. Martin's. Jeremiah Hersrud in the lineman, along with Griffin Effenberger, with 7.7 left.
Looks like our defensive strategy is to really focus our attention on Chris Lee.
They find Chris Lee. 5 seconds left. Lee dropped it, left side. Hersrud lunges! Short! We go to triple overtime. A fantastic game.
Oh, can't ask for anything more.
One that has it all, and a 3rd overtime is needed. We have run out of graphics. Last thing on the minds of any of us, but we go to triple overtime. 98-98 tie. Again, we account for the foul trouble that has impacted both teams, primarily Alaska Fairbanks. Isaiah Sams-Hoy is fouled out with 26 points, 9 of 9 from the line, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks, all tops for Alaska Fairbanks. Jalea O'Keefe is fouled out with 11 points. And the same can be said really on Zeffenbergen, fouled out with 19 points off 6 rebounds. St. Martin's, Diego Trejo Delgado, who kept St. Martin's in the game, 31 points, 14 rebounds. He has fouled out. Jay-Sean Moore has 4 fouls for St. Martin's. The only other player with near foul trouble, Jacob Harper with 3. For Alaska Fairbanks, sitting with 3 fouls, Kathan Sidhu and Chris Lee. We start the 3rd overtime here in Lacey. Lighthall sends the tip right to Griffin Effenberger. Poached by Nielsen-Skinner. Left it for Chris Lee. Lee from the left arm joint. Dropped it. Out for Griffin Effenberger. Corterius Mingo. Deep shot. Sidhu off the front end. Marcel Stevens slows it for St. Martin's. Nielsen-Skinner. Here's Jay-Sean Moore. Spinning to the bucket. Lost it. Paul Johnson, who hit the big 3 for Alaska Fairbanks. He has it again. Dropped it for Mingo. Out to Chris Lee. Lee on Lighthall. He scores the bucket. Alaska Fairbanks has eclipsed the century mark. Nielsen Skinner. Samuels awaiting. Here is Jay-Sean Moore against Corterius Mingo. It pops in. And the game is tied again. Chris Lee. The pressure of the season in the third overtime. Lee kicked it. Open. Mingo. No. The board from Johnson, who turns and scores. Paul Johnson.
He just worked harder for that one.
Pure desire from Paul Johnson, carrying the workload for Alaska Fairbanks. Lighthall in the post on Kathan Sadu. Lighthall spins to the bucket, rolled off the tin. Mingo set it up for Chris Lee. 1-on-3, Lee scores. And Alaska Fairbanks leads by 4 with 2:51 left in the third overtime. Timeout called in a game that has had everything. Alaska Fairbanks sees their largest lead of overtime. How will St. Martin's counter?
Well, again, our advantage is down low. So, but what we got to do a better job of is getting a better, cleaner shot, and then chase after that offensive board if we miss, which we've had the advantage all night. Our last 2 possessions down low, we haven't done that. So we got to be tenacious in getting after that ball.
Credit to Alaska Fairbanks on the defensive end within the last few minutes of the third overtime. Who will make the big play? Plenty have played. Many have hit clutch shots. 250 separates one team on the cusp of the playoffs. Around the horn they go. Here is Marcel Stevens against Paul Johnson. Lighthall in the post. On Kathan Sadu. Lighthall missed it. So here comes Alaska Fairbanks with a 4-point lead.
Yeah, we didn't have any presence in trying to get that offensive board.
Lee backs up. Chris Lee on Stevens. Shaking big, lunging into one. Off the rim and out. Here comes Jay-Sean Moore. Looks over the Fairbanks defense. Against the man-to-man. Stevens, Lighthall, open 3. Popped out. The board from Corterius Mingo.
And we're going to get called for a foul here.
Foul charge on Omer Ege Pixari that sends Alaska Fairbanks to the free throw line. St. Martin's has not scored in 2 minutes. With their playoff hopes would be on life support. They can't come through tonight. First free throw missed from Corterius Mingo. Second try for a 5-point lead. Mingo missed them both.
That's big. That's really big for the Saints.
4-point lead. Here's Jacob Harper. And Gay Pixari to Harper again. Stevens is fouled by Paul Johnson. That is his first foul, which sends to the free throw line For SMU, Marcel Stevens. He has scored 24 points this evening. 2 chances at the line. Stevens misses on the first. Jeremiah Herstrud checks in for Alaska Fairbanks to make it a 1-possession game. Stevens hits it. 1:32 to go. Griffin Effenberger surrounded along the press, breaking free. Paul Johnson with the bucket. St. Martin's has to hurry.
Great awareness on Effenberger's part.
Able to find Johnson all alone. Stevens for 3. Bullseye. 2-point game. When St. Martin's needed it, its most desperate of times. 54 seconds left. Here's Griffin Effenberger. He gets it tenderly away for Kathan Sidhu for Chris Lee. 40 seconds left. Lee lunges into one and a shot clock violation. And St. Martin's will have a chance to tie or take the lead. Marcel Stevens to Miles Samuels. Dashing down the lane. Kicked it. Ege Pexari to Samuels yet again. Miles Samuels dashes to the bucket. Jay-Sean Moore ties the game for St. Martin's with 18.9 left. Timeout, Alaska Fairbanks. And they'll have a chance with 16.7 to go for the final shot of triple overtime. So now the question is for Alaska Fairbanks, again, with who you have, where do you go?
Well, the guy who's been carrying him for the last few minutes, Johnson. He's shot the 3. He's been the guy who's been cutting to the basket for the layup. He's probably the guy I would start with.
Johnson has scored 25 points in this game. His season high is 29. Depending on how things go, we may see plenty of career highs completely busted. More importantly, 16.7 to go. Effenberger surveys. Here is Chris Lee. Lee settles. 7 seconds left. Lee down to 4, down to 3. Chris Lee for the lead. Off the rim we go to a 4th overtime. We're going to a 4th overtime. We have had what has been guaranteed virtually another half of basketball. You cannot make this up. 4 overtimes, both teams playing toe-to-toe. Try and catch our breath. A little update with the GNAC scoreboard. This with results all final across the conference. Western Washington a winner against Central Washington, 90-73. Western harnesses their control in GNAC postseason status. They put themselves in a tie with Seattle Pacific, who swept the season series with Western Washington. Northwest Nazarene a winner against Simon Fraser by 1, 69-68. That was the same score for Western Oregon, a winner against Alaska Anchorage. So Western Oregon with their 2nd win of the year. They await Alaska Fairbanks. And of course, our game here. So off we go with the fourth overtime. Dyson Lighthall will go up against Kathan Sadu. The fourth overtime underway. And for the first time in the overtime session, Alaska Fairbanks able to win the opening tip. Effenberger for Chris Lee from the right side. Tripped and skipped into the backcourt, and possession remains with Alaska Fairbanks. An auspicious start to overtime number 4. So here comes Jeremiah Hersrud. Down the lane, Hersrud is blocked by Samuels. Miles Samuels.
Well, the Nooks don't have much time left on their shot clock. They've got 4 seconds, so they're going to need to run a really crisp play here.
And Lee does that. What a find for Chris Lee. Alaska Fairbanks with the lead again. Ege Pixari will head to the free throw line. Omer Ege Pixari, who facilitates well for this St. Martin's team, yet to score. Averages 3.8 points a game. 2 critical free throws. Misses on the first. To make it a 1-point game. Ege Pixari, 78% free throw shooter coming in. Makes it a 1-point game. So here comes Alaska Fairbanks. This is Chris Lee. Look at him zoom. He'll slow it down. Lee watched by Stevens. Kicked it left side. Cortez Mingo lost it out of play. St. Martin's basketball with 4:04 to go in the fourth overtime. Marcel Stevens. In a steal. Kathan Sadu. He'll slow it. Right back out to Lee. Here is Effenberger. He puts in the 3. 4-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. Stevens launched it. Ege Pixari. Dyson Lighthall. Ege Pixari emerges. He'll ride to the bucket and score.
He looked really good doing that.
The crease opened up for Ege Pixari. Back comes Griffin Effenberger. He'll launch. Popped out. Here comes Marcel Stevens. From outside, he'll slow it down for St. Martin's and shoot the 3. He is fouled. Marcel Stevens will head to the line to shoot 3. And the foul called against Sadu.
That's his 4th personal.
So Kathan Sadu into immediate foul trouble. Marcel Stevens, 28. He has already eclipsed his career high. Adds to it here to make it a 1-point game with 2:59 left in a quadruple overtime. This to tie the game. He hits them both. We are tied at 111. This for the lead. Stevens. Missed it.
Man, this game has just played with your emotions. A minute ago, Fairbanks had a 4-point lead, and it wasn't looking great for the Saints, and then all of a sudden it's just bing, bang, boom, and here we are, we're tied again.
Hersrud left it for Chris Lee. He'll dash in. He is fouled with 2:42 left in the fourth OT. The foul charge against Marcel Stevens, which sends Chris Lee to the free throw line for his second trip to the charity stripe. 14 points, 2 of 2 from the line. Lee misses on the first try. Lee for the lead. He puts it in. Fairbanks back in front. Here is Marcel Stevens. On inside! Off the rim, Marcel Stevens will head to the free throw line. Marcel Stevens carrying the weight for St. Martin's. And that is the fifth foul for Kathan Sidhu. So 4 Nanooks have fouled out of the game. Marcel Stevens, 7 of 11 from the free throw line. Misses on the first. With 2:32 left in the fourth overtime. You can hear a pin drop here in the game, tied up, courtesy of Marcel Stevens. Back level once again.
So entering the game for Fairbanks is number 20.
And Johnson hits the 3.
Wow. Wow.
Ice in his veins. Paul Johnson gives the Nanooks a 3-point lead with 2:18 to go.
When he played high school ball here in the Northwest, he same type of sharp shooting. You know, he's a really, really tough guard, and just showed it there. You know,
Paul Johnson, high school state champion with O'Day, and he showed it right there. Tough as nails with the 3, and now another pendulum swing.
Well, I've done a couple of his games at state, so I'm familiar with his sharp shooting ability.
So Johnson hits the 3, another massive triple. He has 28 points to carry the scoring lead for Alaska Fairbanks. How will St. Martin's respond? Stevens will slow it. Ever so tenderly, he'll advance ahead. Defended by Lee. Off of Chris Lee, who comes away with a steal. Jettisoned. Paul Johnson. He'll go for a lap, looking for an open outlet. Outside for Chris Lee with 2 minutes left. Alaska Fairbanks hoping to put a stranglehold on the final playoff spot in the conference. Effenberger, right side, lunging. He'll head to the free throw line. And the foul called on Dyson Lighthall. That is his 3rd. Importantly, Griffin Effenberger will shoot 2. In a game that has seemingly had it all. Effenberger for a 2-possession lead. Puts it down. And Alaska Fairbanks, for the 3rd time in overtime, with a 4-point lead. They're looking for their largest of bonus basketball. Effenberger can do it here. With 14 points, 3 of 3, and now 4 for 4. Largest lead of overtime for Alaska Fairbanks. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner wafted for Miles Samuels. Whitehall in the post, closing on Krug, popped out again. Here comes Chris Lee with 1:23 left. Lee on Stevens. 70 seconds left in the 4th overtime, and a foul call that sends Chris Lee 3 of 4 from the line. He'll shoot 2 with Alaska Fairbanks up by 5. Chris Lee, 79% free throw shooter with a 15-point effort. Not one of the highest of his scoring outputs. Looking to size up the Nanook lead. He does so there. This to make it a 3-possession game. Lee, with 1:08 left, makes it a 3-possession game. St. Martin's has to hurry. Stevens from outside. Here's Miles Samuels. From the right arm joint, elevates, missed it. Harper fetches for the board. Scooped up by Paul Johnson. Out comes Griffin Effenberger, who is fouled, and Alaska Fairbanks beginning to taste it. With 45 seconds left. You talk about statement wins. Alaska Fairbanks, should they come away with the win? Momentum on their side with the quadruple overtime game that has had it all.
Well, you gotta just give them all the credit in the world. They've been money when they've needed to be money. They've just hung in there when they just had to hang in there, and give them credit. Their reserves have come off the bench and have played very well.
St. Martin's has not scored in 2 minutes. Samuels coast to coast, off the rim and out. Held ball, possession does remain with St. Martin's with 37.3 to go. Nielsen-Skinner from the inline. Against Fairbanks defense. Jay-Sean Moore, no basket, and a foul called. That sends Jay-Sean Moore to the free throw line. For Moore, playing with 4 fouls. 35 seconds left. Here is Jay-Sean Moore. Misses on the first try. Second attempt for Moore. Moore puts it in. 8-point game, 35 seconds left. Hersrud left it for Chris Lee, fouled by Marcel Stevens. Fairbanks to the free throw line yet again. So here is Chris Lee. He has seen plenty of looks here in the fourth overtime. Lee misses the initial try. For Alaska Fairbanks, game against Western Oregon would be win and in for them. St. Martin's will need a win and a loss from Alaska Fairbanks to make it in. Stevens for three. Flanked off the rim and out. Samuels gets the board. Stevens for three. Missed it again. Samuels. Nielsen Skinner missed one short. Jay-Sean Moore banks one in with 10.5 left. And the Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks on the verge of a statement win.
Well, you've got to give them all the credit in the world. They hung in there at times when you thought everything was going to go St. Martin's way. And, you know, they've been just tenacious when they needed to be tenacious. And it's just, given the fact they have four guys that have fouled out, and some of these guys have been out of this game for quite some time, that's a, you know, every one of the guys that have come off the bench, even the guys that have had seen zero playing time, have made contributions in the overtime.
10.5 to go. Nielsen Skinner commits the foul to send Alaska Fairbanks to the free throw line. And a very difficult road trip. Alaska Fairbanks 3-8 on the road this season. About to come away with the win of the season. Effenberger adds another free throw. He has 18 points, which has eclipsed his season high. Effenberger misses on the backhand. Nielsen Skinner on the advance. Moore. Stevens for three. Missed it. Off the rim and out. And Alaska Fairbanks comes away with a statement quadruple overtime winner.
Well, give the Nanooks all the credit in the world. They played tenacious tonight, and at times when it looked like it was going to go against them, they hung in there. And so, rarely do you have a college game that has 123 points versus 115, and I wouldn't be surprised. It was just sooner or later somebody ran out of gas, and give the Nanooks all the credit in the world, because that they're at the end of the game, their gas tank was a little bit more full than the Saints.
All the way to the bitter end for Alaska Fairbanks. They control their own destiny for the final playoff spot in the GNAC as they take the sixth place spot on St. Martin's. A record of 9-8. Fairbanks clinches a playoff spot with either a win on Saturday against Western Oregon or St. Martin's defeat to Alaska Anchorage. But as far as the reconciliation phase to this game goes, where do you even begin? It all started with the drama of the second half. St. Martin's trailed by as many as 13. They rally back to force overtime, and then the overtime period was a whole nother conundrum.
Well, in almost every overtime period, the Saints had to make the comeback to move it into the next overtime period. And unfortunately, in the fourth overtime, they got in a hole that they couldn't get out of. But again, this is why we love the game. It had everything, as you mentioned. It had, great three-point shooting on the part of Alaska Fairbanks. A miserable night of three-point shooting for the Saints, yet they found ways to remain in the game, and they took advantage of their superior height and capabilities underneath. But again, as soon as one team got an advantage in the game, the other one seemed to figure out how to get back in the game. But this fourth overtime period, the shooting for the Saints kind of went downhill.
And as far as shooting is concerned for St. Martin's, and there was that period where they went darn near 3 minutes without scoring, 2 of 9 from the field in the fourth overtime, and in what is a battle of attrition. And for St. Martin's, you can look at that. Three-point shooting was not there. Marcel Stevens hit 5 threes, but outside of him, only one other three. That came from Diego Trejo Delgado. Let's look at the scoring across what is one heck of a game. Marcel Stevens and Diego Trejo Delgado, they both finish with career highs, 31 points. Trejo Delgado had 14 boards before fouling out of the game. And what is a game that leaves you astonished. And then Dyson Lighthall, 21 points, 0 of 4 from 3 in the end. But for St. Martin's, just a little too short.
Yep. Well, and again, you look at what Alaska Fairbanks was able to do throughout this game, and even when it looked like things were going to go south for them, they figured out how to stay in the game. And in this fourth overtime period, you're kind of going, okay, they've got 4 guys that have fouled out of this game, and yet they continue to play with precision. And down the stretch, Chris Lee was their guy, and he, when it all came to shove, it was him and Johnson, and they were 2 guys that carried Fairbanks to the victory.
Lee, free throws in the fourth overtime, huge. He finishes with a double-double, 18 points and 10 boards. And then Isaiah Sams-Hoy fouled out early in overtime, if you can say that. 26 points, 13 boards, 6 assists. Fairbanks would not be where they're at without the contributions from Sams-Hoy.
Yeah, he was critical in some of those overtime moments where the Nanooks needed something, and he was the guy who delivered.
And then Paul Johnson finishes with a Nanook high 28 points, and he stayed out of foul trouble. Only 1 foul, and his impact felt across the board. And then also, you talk about making a difference off the bench, a contribution from both Zeffenbergen and Effenberger, both those two off the bench, but such a massive end to how Alaska Fairbanks was able to come away with the win.
Effenberger, throughout the overtime period, found open guys for easy shots, and he was instrumental in this victory because of his ability to find an open teammate. And then, down the stretch, he made a couple of shots on his own and made some free throws. And, no one's ever going to say he was the star of the game, but he certainly had his moments where he was an absolute star.
Absolute all across the board. So once again, the win for Alaska Fairbanks means a win on Saturday against Western Oregon clinches their first playoff berth in the GNAC tournament since last time they won it back in 2022. What was one heck of a run for the Nanooks, one that was won right here at Marcus Pavilion. For St. Martin's, they need to win against Alaska Anchorage and hope that Western Oregon, after their second conference win of the year, beats Alaska Fairbanks. That's their path in. That's the story here tonight. Larry Beck, special thank you for having you jump on your first broadcast quadruple overtime game Let's do this again, shall we?
Why not? Why not? Maybe we won't have 4 overtime periods. Let's go for 5.
Oh, let's go for 5. But that's all the time that we have for tonight's broadcast. Special thank you to everyone who makes this broadcast possible. For our camera operator, Emmy Hansen of St. Martin's Volleyball, with her great work this evening, and for the SID for St. Martin's, Matt Schwarzler, for an excellent job pushing the buttons for us. And a special thank you, of course, to you, Larry Beck, for jumping on.
Well, thank you for having me. I had an absolute blast.
I'm Danny Bach saying so long and take care, and thanks for letting us be a part of your incredible evening. Your final score in quadruple overtime, Alaska Fairbanks 100.